Welcome to the Technical Writing Success video overview by Kurt Robbins, where we focus on AI and help you get smarter than your competition. Today, we're diving into a really big fight brewing over who gets to make the rules for artificial intelligence here in the US, and it's all based on some recent reporting from PBS NewsHour. So, what are we going to cover? First, we'll talk about this huge idea of a federal AI order. Then, we'll look at the laws already happening in states like Colorado and California to see what's at stake. We'll get into why some are pushing so hard for just one national standard. And then, this is a big one, we'll look at the massive difference between what regular people want and what big companies are asking for. And finally, we'll tackle the question on everyone's mind. What does this mean for our jobs? All right, let's start with the bombshell news. There's talk that the White House is actually drafting a plan, an executive order, that would basically put all AI rules under federal control. This would completely reshape the landscape, overriding what individual states have been working on. The goal here is, well, it's pretty simple, but also radical. Just one set of AI rules for the whole country. This would mean that the different regulations that states like Colorado and California have been carefully building would all be replaced by a single federal standard. So you might be asking, why the big push for this now? Well, in a social media post, the president put it pretty bluntly. It's all about beating China in the AI race. The argument is that we need a single, unified approach to stay competitive on the world stage. Now, to really understand the impact here, you've got to look at what would be lost. You see, with no federal rules currently in place, some states have really stepped up to the plate. They've become these kind of like laboratories of law, trying to figure this all out. Just look at Colorado. They passed a law to protect their nearly 6 million residents from AI-driven discrimination. And we're talking about the big stuff in life. Getting a job, finding housing, even getting health insurance. It's all about fairness. And then you've got California, which took it even further. Their law is really focused on safety and transparency. It actually gives the state power to look into the safety protocols of AI companies. And, just as important, it protects employees who raise the alarm about problems they see. Okay, so if states are already on it, why this big push for a federal takeover? It's a fair question. Let's look at the arguments coming from the other side of this, from the big tech companies and the White House. It all really comes down to this phrase you hear a lot, regulatory patchwork. I mean, just imagine trying to run a business where you have to follow 50 completely different sets of rules. For these national tech companies, that's a huge headache. They argue that having one single predictable federal standard would make everything so much simpler and really boost innovation. And you can kind of see how we got here. Reports show that top execs from giants like NVIDIA, Google, and Apple have been meeting regularly with the White House. They've made it clear they want a single standard. And, well, now it looks like that's exactly what's being drafted into policy. And this, right here, is where the story gets really, really interesting. Because while the tech industry and the White House seem to be marching in lockstep, the American public, well, they seem to be reading from a totally different script. And get this, the public is not asking for less regulation. Nope, not at all. A recent Gallup poll showed the complete opposite. A whopping 80% of Americans believe the government should maintain rules for AI safety, even if it slows down development. That's a huge number, and it flies right in the face of that whole move fast and break things philosophy. This cautious attitude from the public is a world away from the, utopian future that some tech leaders talk about. For example, Elon Musk recently said that AI could make work itself optional. Now, for some people, that sounds like a dream, but for a lot of others, that sounds kinda like a nightmare. And that right there brings us to the final and maybe the most personal part of this whole debate. What is AI going to do to our jobs? It really feels like we're standing at a crossroads with two very, very different futures ahead of us. So on one side, you have this beautiful vision of a future where work is optional and we're all free to paint and write poetry. But on the other side, you have the cold, hard lesson of history. Every time a major new technology comes along, it causes massive disruption and job loss. And look, this isn't just some vague fear. The CEO of Anthropic, a major AI company, actually put a number on it. He said that while AI might be able to cure cancer, it could also lead to a 20% unemployment rate. That's a pretty sobering thought that cuts right through all the hype. So where does that leave us? As we're standing right here on the edge of this new era, the biggest question isn't really about the tech. It's about who gets to decide how we use it. Is it going to be a decision made from the top down, driven by corporate interests? Or will it be shaped from the bottom up by the real concerns of everyday people? The choice we make now is going to define our future. Thank you so much for joining us for this look into the future of AI regulation. It's a complicated story, it's moving fast, and it's got huge implications for every single one of us. This is where we teach you AI and help you get smarter than your competition. To stay up to date on all these crucial developments, please subscribe to the Technical Writing Success YouTube channel. And if you found this video helpful, please remember to like, comment, and share. It really helps us reach a wider audience. Thanks again for watching.